Yeah, it's a good thing.
I found out about my fellowship also from Chicago. I think Abu mentioned it to me years before, and that's the fellowship that I have is Japanese National Fellowship, and there's also one awarded in the whole country, and only 2 or 3 to the arts. India is not an art school, so it's pretty, I mean, I think I was lucky too, but I think I found out about the fellowship and that opportunity because I had no way to tell myself when in New York to go to graduate school. But the other thing I was going to say, I also think that the relationships and connections that you build with professors through the honors college are stronger and more intense, and they last longer. Because when I went to graduate school the second time, that was 4 years after I graduated, and it was not uncomfortable for me to contact my own professors because I think the bond, because the group is smaller, the bond is much tighter, and it was not an issue to contact somebody so many years later, and they still remember me and remember my thesis and all that. I'm not sure that doesn't happen outside the honors college necessarily, because people remember you going through that whole experience. So I think that that's great.
I guess I could just add, like Lisa was saying, I ended up getting 2 paid fellowships over 2 different summers to be able to do research, which wasn't exactly from the honors scholarships, which was saying there's a bunch of different scholarships you can apply for, like throughout the university. But now that they're sort of being consolidated, I think it might be a better environment. It'll be easier to have somebody to go to talk about what the opportunities are, because they're really, really great opportunities, and it's good that now that I'm together so that you can have an easier way of finding it.
I come from a slightly different school of thought. I've never applied for a scholarship, and not because I don't think it's great. I just have more of an entrepreneurial kind of motivation about me. And when my senior year, what I really took out of the honors college program was just the kind of drive to take initiative. With the thesis, it wasn't like a normal class where here's your syllabus, here's what we're doing each week, and we're student meeting your material, here you go. They give you kind of an open topic, and it's up to you to take the initiative to set up the interviews, to do the research, and to get all the pieces together. And that was something that I was not necessarily getting in a lot of the business curriculum. And I've really noticed that since I've graduated. People, when you work for them especially, you're working with them, they really appreciate when you're not just waiting for them to tell you to do something. You anticipate, you take the initiative and get stuff done before there's a problem. And that's kind of what I really, really took out of my senior year.
Yeah, the thesis is a theme I think it runs through a lot of answers to these questions, because that's a time when it's an opportunity to delve into, I really do take the initiative and to delve into something that you choose for yourself, and you work with professors who they care about your success, they care about you learning what the process is, and it doesn't have to be typical, just any project, like John said, it's not like it's not just an assignment, it's you really get to create it. So, for example, I studied abroad, and since the end, I chose to get back for 6 weeks and do a feasibility study for a community development project. And when I pitched that to who I was asking my advisor, I expected him to say that's way too complicated, that's just and he was totally on board, and he spent hours, I don't know how many hours with me over the next 6 months, 7 months, going through all those pieces, and he wasn't getting paid extra for that, because I really enjoyed that process.
Yeah.
Can you address the process of non-using double majoring?
Was it a double majoring? And in Page's case, it's double colleging. Double degreeing. Yeah.
It's a huge challenge, and I had professors and advisors say, it doesn't give you a leg up in the world. It's not worth it if you're thinking it'll help you get into grad school or help you, achieve some opportunity you might not have been able to otherwise. But it was worth it on a personal level, just enriching who I was. And you're one of those people who sees all issues as interconnected, and just can't sit in political science without thinking about how to apply it to what's going on in our natural world, or you
having both majors was just important for who I was and my personal curiosity. So, you know, if it's going to cause your son or daughter to have to take a longer time getting through school or really kill them, it's probably not worth it if they're not enjoying it. But if you really enjoy what you do, if you get up in the morning and are willing to take 20, 21 credits to get it all done and work with 4 different advisors, you know, it was Anne Hughes to vice president and my boss at the same time. It's worth it. But I'm not crazy. I promise the way I did it was I got 8 hours of sleep every single night.
There's also ways of getting some of the benefits without academic majors. And I mean, like, UVM is very conducive to courses across colleges. I had a minor across college, so that makes this throw out that it is possible to take some of the best classes in other schools and departments without committing to a set of thesis.
Yeah, I double majored in English and art history, and I didn't find it that difficult. Those were both things that I was really interested in, and so I just ended up taking a bunch of classes in both of those, fields. And I think that, I wasn't taking a lot of credits, and I was doing the normal amount. And you can do that if you realize, like, early on in your career that, I'm interested in these 2 things, then you just get to take a lot of classes in those things. So it's basically ideal when you have, Keisha mentioned interconnectedness, and I think that the Honors College also does a good job of sort of fostering that kind of interconnectedness, and obviously, everything else bears on, everything is connected, and so it's nice to be able to think about, English and art history and vice versa. So I think that it's very doable, and it's great if you know what you want to do.
My experience is actually similar to Elias's. I did in computer science and mathematics. I started out with just a computer science degree, but I was already taking a lot of math classes, and it just turned out to be really easy to combine the 2. And, in the field, they go hand in hand, so that definitely.
Yeah, it was. I
Could
didn't
you repeat the
nominate-
question, please?
The question was if my major and my undergraduate study was art, and it was, but I didn't double major in anything, but from the beginning on, I was so interested in other things, so I almost majored in religion as well, and almost majored in anthropology, because I felt that, I think with my profession especially, you can, taking art classes provides you, maybe teaches you tools on how to develop your ideas, but everything else comes from the world around us. So for me, it was crucial to take these other classes to just open my mind. Political science, everything else. So it was major, but it didn't, for me also, being enrolled in the honors program and doing a thesis confirmed that I wanted to be really an artist. Because the whole time it was like this side thing that I loved and enjoyed, but I wasn't quite convinced that that was the path. But I think that this is really kind of put things in perspective and allowed me to develop my own ideas based on what I had learned.
You had minors in the other area?
Yeah, I had minors, but it was like, I think in religion I was like 3 credits short of a major. So.
Could everyone tell us what they did their thesis on and a little bit about it?
Great question.
Can
you remember?
My thesis was the feasibility study surrounding the installation of an ecological wastewater treatment plant for a city in Tanzania. And that basically meant doing all the research, the water quality testing research, government interviews, and document analysis to support whether it was appropriate and feasible